At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you today's guest speaker, Sergeant Major Brian Keith Haugh, 1st Corps Command Reserve Component Career Counselor. Sergeant Major Brian Keith Haugh serves as the United States Army's 1st Corps Reserve Component Command Career Counselor at Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington. Sergeant Major Haugh entered the United States Army under the Delayed Entry Program in February of '86. He later attended and completed initial entry training to become a light-wheeled vehicle mechanic at Fort Dix, New Jersey. After this time with the regular Army, Sergeant Major Haugh served as a recruiting and retention NCO with the Colorado Army National Guard. After a successful tour as a RNCO, Sergeant Major Haugh served in several strength maintenance positions, such as an instructor rider with the Strength Maintenance Training Center, senior instructor, Army National Guard TRADOC liaison, Quality Assurance Director, Senior Reserve Component Career Counselor, just to name a few. His military education includes all levels of non-commissioned officer professional military education to include the United States Army Sergeants Majors Academy. He also completed the Transition NCO course, Army National Guard Liaison NCO course, Quality Assurance Evaluators course, and Senior Training and Educator Managers course. His civilian education includes an associate's degree in applied science as well as a bachelor's degree in business management from Excelsior College. Please welcome Sergeant Major Brian K. Haugh.
Thank you, Sergeant Fassett. As I was invited to come up and speak to you guys today, I thought about what I would want the person to say when I was sitting in your seats in 2004. So my speech goes like this. Good luck, you earned a badge, go out and do the job, right? Sorry, I can't end it right there, but I truly thought about that thought, right? And not knowing the unknowns, you hear so many negative connotations about recruiting and retention that it's one of the most important jobs in the military, but also it's the only job in the military that as soon as you receive institutional training, you're automatically put on mission, correct? You don't get no train up at CRCs, you don't get no battle drills, anything like that. You're expected to get trained, go out there, put people in the Guard. And over the years, developing resiliency and the things that you're going to need to possess while you're out there doing the job, either as an R&R NCO or in life, I've really come to rely on 2 acronyms. And I always ask myself, am I ready? Ready's the first acronym. I've learned that I must be respectful. Be respectful, most importantly, to myself, right? We can be our own worst enemies, beat ourselves up. We let past mistakes and failures possibly hold us back from our true potential. No, be respectful to yourself, acknowledge that stuff, learn from your mistakes, learn from the challenges you face, and move on for it. But more importantly, once you start respecting yourself, you're going to start respecting others a lot more, and that's going to get you real far. E is be an expert. Be an expert at your craft. Whether you stay in recruiting and retention like I have, or whether you leave recruiting and retention, go back to your MOS or whatever the case might be an expert. What that means is you gotta take the initiative. You gotta study the regulations. You gotta know the policies as soon as they come out. You gotta do those types of things. The A is be an athlete. Now, as you can tell, I'm not no athlete. I'm not no Michael Phelps or anybody like that, but I have really dedicated myself to develop a lifestyle of fitness and nutrition, right? And whatever that looks like for yourself, you have to achieve that. And when you do that, our mandatory requirements like the ACFT and other things are going to be minimal because you've already developed that lifestyle of health and fitness. The D stands for discipline. This job is the closest job you'll ever see in the military ranks to being your own entrepreneur. You're going to go out there and you're going to be expected to develop your own school recruiting programs. You're going to be charged with developing your own recruiting events out there in your communities. You're going to be charged with going out and developing relationships that you may be totally uncomfortable. I'm an introvert by nature, but I challenged myself when I discovered that to make myself go out and do those things. So you must be disciplined in all aspects of your life. That's your military, personal, and your professional. And the why, it's up to you. Any failures or challenges you're facing, it's up to you to overcome those. Seek the mentorship, seek the coaching that you need out there. You have to seek them. They're not just going to fall on your lap. Sometimes they do. Sometimes mentors will seek you out. They see something in you and they'll seek you out. But most of the time you have to go seek them out. And when you take that initiative to do that, you're going to learn and grow beyond leaps and bounds. So that's the question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready? The next one you need to ask yourself is, do you take pride in what you do? Do you take pride in everything that you do? The P in pride stands for personal accountability and responsibility. You are charged at this point, once you pin that badge on your chest today, you're charged with enforcing every Army regulation and Army standard pertaining to recruiting and retention. That's whether it was covered in this course or not, but you're charged with that. So you must own that, and you must take personal accountability and responsibility for doing that. The great President Ronald Reagan said, "We must reject the idea that every time a law is broken, society is guilty rather than the lawbreaker. It is time to restore the American precept that each individual is accountable for his own actions." I think that's very important to understand. Readiness, right? Readiness starts here at PEC, but readiness starts with you. We are a soldier first. I know when we get into the grind of recruiting and retention, we have a tendency to forget stuff like 350-1 training, the mandatory soldier training and stuff, but you must develop a battle plan, a battle rhythm, work it into your schedule of where it fits to get all that stuff taken care of. You don't need your supervisor coming and telling you to get a PHA, to do your 350-1 training, or you got kicked off of the network because you didn't do cyber awareness, right? You didn't help us attack the cyber threat. John Kennedy once said, the time to repair the roof is when it's shining. You don't wait until something comes up or you're reactive. Be proactive. I is integrity. I'm telling you this, sergeants, the minute you start and begin to allow your integrity to be jeopardized, you've lost. It's such a slippery slope, very few can recover. Now, I'm a firm belief that it's never too late to redeem yourself. I truly am. But it may cost you a lot in your life, both professionally and personally. It's very, very important that the one thing you hold on to is integrity. D is development. Development. Right now, you've just completed your institutional requirements, but there are two very more important domains. The operational domain, which you're going to go out and do, and that's where you need to take the initiative, learn the regulations, learn everything there is, learn the little, lack of a better term, loopholes or are niches that you can accelerate whatever you're doing, right? You guys are facing challenges that I never even thought I would face in recruiting now. With the things that have been put into place and stuff, I could have a guy on the floor tomorrow. What the earliest you guys could do it is 3 or 4 days right now, right? And so you gotta develop that battle rhythm and learn how to be efficient in that process and get it done as quickly as possible. Then the most important one is professional development. I have always been, anybody that knows me knows I have never been a big, huge proponent of a college education. I was the first one to graduate high school in my family. I was the first one to get a degree, and I really resisted that, and I think that held me back in a lot of different ways. I didn't embrace that enough. My peers and others in my peer group got promoted faster than me. They got positions that I thought if I worked hard enough for, I would get those because of my work ethic and because of my accomplishments in my job. But I had to come to the realization that my education mattered, right? If not to me, for society and my acceptance in where I wanted to go and my final goals and what I wanted to do. So I had to embrace that and develop personally. I see my great friend Tim Harrison back there, retired sergeant major. We went through IHE together, increasing human effectiveness, one of the courses we used to teach here at the SMTB. And one of our favorite sayings was, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot, right? The minute you think that you know everything or you've put every type of person in the guard, you're going to get slammed with a situation you don't know how to react to because you took that for granted. So stay green, stay hungry, stay accountable to yourself. Finally, the E is for empowerment. Empower yourself, right? I talked about beating ourselves up about our mistakes and our challenges and that we face and stuff like that. Empower yourself to succeed. Challenge yourself to succeed. But more importantly, the relationships and everything that you're establishing out there, everything you're trying to do, empower the people that you're in touch with, right? Empower your applicants. Instead of doing everything for them, empower them. Hey, you want this? Go out and do this. Empower them to complete the steps necessary to go out and do that. President Teddy Roosevelt said, "The best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and the self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it." I think that has a lot of merit in what we do, how you conduct yourself, and really, if you're ready and you take pride, you're going to succeed as an R&R NCO and in life. This stuff actually has enhanced my marriage. Got a beautiful wife I've been with her now 38 years. This stuff, what you're stepping into, breaking out of your comfort zone in the areas that you know, you're going to challenge, you just got to be brave enough to challenge yourself, surprise yourself, and you'll do amazing things out there. I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the invite, Sergeant Major Ferrara. The team here, Miss Deb, one of my awesome mentors as well. I was so happy to see you come in the room. I really appreciate that. And just go out there and do good things, right? You are the face of the Army National Guard, right? And I do want to touch on one other thing, because I think it's a stigma that needs to be addressed in recruiting and retention, specifically in the Army National Guard. I guarantee you that you're going to get back to your state At some point, they're going to say, man, why are you working so hard? There ain't no upward mobility here. There ain't no, you're not going to get higher than where you are now. Why are you doing that? I'm telling you right now that that is a self-imposed limitation that that person has put in theirself and they're trying to project onto you. I seen that in my state. I got those words in my state. And so I took a chance, right? I was comfortable in Colorado. I like Colorado. All of my family was there. That was my comfort zone. But I was at a place with my family. They were old enough, mature enough, that type of thing, that I was able to embrace the fact that I would have to, PCS every 3 or 4 years. And I joined the Title X program. And I share this story many times with people that I come into contact with, is the 3+ years I spent here as a instructor and a senior instructor here at the SMTB is the most professional development and personal growth that I ever had. I got to go to 39 different states and train soldiers and analyze and look at and help and assist with their recruiting efforts in those states, see what worked, what didn't. It was amazing. And then I got to go be a liaison. And there I got to see the efforts that I took and how hard it was for me to put an individual into the Guard. I seen how easy it was to end that effort. I mean, the active component and the drill sergeants, they just got a different type of mission. They don't care whether that person's there or not, even though it's filled a vacancy in a unit for the National Guard for almost a year, right? Sometimes if they're on the split training option or something like that, that individual has filled a vacancy in a National Guard unit for almost a year. So got to work those issues and save soldiers from attriting at training. So, and then now I'm a reserve component career counselor. Now I talk to all the guys that made the wrong choice in the beginning to making the right choice now into the reserve component, right? And I do that by coaching, mentoring, counseling individuals on what is available. And it's hard to break that stigma of, the Army's 24/7 and they call you Friday night to report Saturday morning somewhere. That's a tough job to overcome those things that they've lived for the last 3, 4, 8 years. And so the moral of that point is, don't let yourself be sold a bill of goods, right, for upward mobility and what you can actually do. If it ain't for recruiting, retention, and attrition efforts, it would be hard, as evident right now in this time period that we're talking, it would be hard for the Army to maintain its mission. So that's how important what you're going out there to do, what you're going out there to be, and who you represent is you're one of the most important cogs in the entire will of our country's freedom and defense. And so I thank you for your time. It was a blessing for me to be up here, and hopefully I spoke some words of wisdom to you, and it sinks in, if nothing else, for your own personal life, because the numbers don't lie. A lot of you guys ain't even going to be here next year in recruiting and retention. We can accept that. But I think if I had different coaches and mentors and people speaking words of encouragement and wisdom into my mind, I think more of my peers and subordinates would have been here as well. So let's go out there, let's coach, mentor, train, and develop, right? Our jobs as NCOs don't change. The mission's a little different. But if you continue to coach, mentor, counsel, and train, you're going to be successful wherever you go. And that's equally important here in recruiting and retention. So Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and congratulations.
Sergeant Major, thank you for those inspiring words.